Today, it's top 5 time once again, and here, I'm looking at the top 5 best speed boots in the middle of 2018. You know, boots that are built to give you a tight, close fit, a very precise touch in the ball, of course, a pretty low weight, and a locked-in and responsive sensation. And thankfully, the market is full to the brim at the moment with very, very solid speed boot options. So what do you say we just dive in to give you an idea of what you should look for if you're out on the field as a pace merchant and you need a pair of fast wheels. Number 5 is the Nike Mercurial Vapor 12 Pro. Yep, the takedown that will set you back only 120 euros, but actually still give you a pretty good Nike Mercurial Vapor 11 vibe to it. And while it might not be as light as the Vapor 11s, it weighs a little bit more, 209 grams, you still get a very thin, soft and supple upper that gives you a relatively tight, close fit that is still relatively comfortable, but also a really precise and close, slightly textured touch on the ball, like you know from the Vapor 11. You also get the anatomical sole plate that we know from the Vapor 11s and the Vapor 12 Elites. So there's a lot of bang for the buck in this, and if you're not into the whole knit game and just want a good synthetic speed boot, well, this is one of the best you can get, especially for the money. And it's a little bit crazy to think actually that a takedown can actually compete with the best, most high-end speed boots out there. 100, wow, bang for the buck. 4th place goes out to the Mizuno Morelia Neo II made in Japan, which weighs as little as 185 grams, but which will, on the other hand, also burn a 309 euro sized hole in your pocket. But you pay for the quality because this is a ridiculously good football boot. Now it's made, as you can see, with this very low-cut, tight-fitting last to give you a really ballet-like tiptoeing sensation. And then it also uses some of the best kangaroo leather around on the toe box and a synthetic leather midfoot to give you an unreal level of comfort when you step inside of it, but also, of course, to give you that lightweight sensation. And when you add on top of that a touch on the ball that feels really sharp and close because of the thinness of the leather upper, but also adding the padded elegance of leather, and you pretty much are onto a winner here. And okay, the sole plate and especially the studs might not be as aggressive as I would like, but the plate itself is actually very responsive. And when you add Mizuno's ridiculously high build quality on top of that, and just the mind-blowing fitting comfort, for me, this is a seriously underrated options, it's just one option, but it's a seriously underrated option for the speed boot connoisseur, the feinschmeckers out there. Now 3rd place goes to the new Balance Furon 4.0, which might come as a bit of a surprise to some of you because I've really hated on the previous 3 Furon models because frankly they've all sucked. But this one turns it all on its head. Now the upper here is extremely thin. It reminds me a little bit of that on the OG F50 adizero, but unlike that, it's also very, very soft. It gives you a great, rather tight, but also pretty comfortable sensation. I mean, don't get stepped on, it's gonna hurt like shit, but apart from that, it's actually pretty well fitting. Now, you get good stability, a relatively close touch on the ball, and then of course there is the sole plate that is very stiff and extremely responsive. The price for that bad boy is 230 euros. And while it is a little bit of a bummer admittedly that it weighs 226 grams, on foot it feels so nimble and tiptoey ballet dancer-like and streamlined and close to the ball that in the end it doesn't matter that much. And to me, this brings back memories of those OG hardcore minimalistic speed boots. And frankly, New Balance, I'm pretty surprised. Number 2 goes out to one of my favorite boots, not just speed boots, but favorite boots on the market overall, the Adidas X 18.1, which gives you an amazing, extremely comfortable fit, especially for a speed boot. You get a lovely sensation around the collar and especially the heel counter here, which just fits your foot extremely seamlessly and feels bonkers good. I love it. Then you get a very thin, soft upper, so you can feel the ball no matter the situation. And then of course also a relatively stiff, stable outsole with a nice snapback in the forefoot. In other words, this is a pretty good overall boot. And it gives me a bit of the vibes, just like the Furon by the way, of the OG adizeros, but in a more comfortable, better performing way, despite only weighing 201 grams. So in other words, I absolutely love it, and costing you just 220 euros, this is one of the best deals out there at the moment, not just for speed boots, but for football boots in general. X18.1, remember the name. Now for honorable mentions, we're running out of dedicated speed boot options relatively fast. There is of course still the Umbro Velociter 3s that I'd be totally cool wearing because they're also very good speed boots, excuse the old colorway by the way, but they're very minimalistic, give you a sharp touch on the ball with a pretty light, slightly responsive outsole, so decent option if you don't fancy the ones on the list. And despite the brands wanting you to believe that these boots are agility-oriented, I'd also be pretty cool wearing these as a speed-oriented player because they make you feel pretty fast as well. Nemesis 18.1 and both of the Hypervenom Phantom 3 Elites, the DF and the low cuts. Lovely boots, all of them, so special shout out to you guys. But now we move on to number one. Because the best speed boot around, in my opinion, is the Nike Mercurial Elite boots, and when I don't specify more, it's because I couldn't really decide between the Superfly 6 Elites and the Vapor 12 Elites. So I'll let you decide for yourself. And the reason I couldn't decide was that they're basically tech-wise more or less the same boot. Of course, the Superfly 6 has the high-cut dynamic fit collar, but apart from that, they are more or less the same. They're built with a Flyknit upper that's very soft, pliable, and will give you this close fit all around the foot that feels more or less like you're wearing a sock. Of course, the Superfly 6 is a little bit softer on the toe box and the side of your boot, whereas the Vapor will give you a little bit better stability because it is slightly more rigid on the sides. But apart from that, well, they basically feel the same. Obviously, the Superfly will make you aware that there's an elasticated piece of knit around your ankle. Some people love that, some people will prefer the Vapor. And of course, you still get the best outsole for speed. The anatomical sole plate where you sink into the plate and kind of feel more at one with your boot. And then of course, the most aggressive studs on the market. The weight for the Vapor, it's 189 grams, costing you 240 euros. And for the Superfly 6 Elites, it's 191 grams, so 2 grams more, costing you 270 euros. But honestly, no matter which of these you choose, well, you get a very, very good speed boot. And honestly, I'm switching between these just like that. I'm cool with whatever, so you decide. They're both awesome. So there you go, my friends, the 5, 6, depending on how you define it, best boots on the market if you're looking for a hardcore speed option. And the cool thing for me is, despite the Mercurial still being number one, the gap between the Mercurials and the rest is getting smaller and smaller. The quality is simply getting better. It's getting better all over. Can't speak today. I mean, Adidas are doing really well. New Balance are seriously stepping up. The Morelia Neo II is the only reason they're that far down the list is the high price. And hell, we even have a Takedown Pro model on the top 5 list here. The quality is just getting better and better, and 2018 is a ridiculously good year if you are a fan of speed boots. But guys, now you've heard my opinion, which is, in your opinion, the best speed boot on the market right now. As always, you let me know in the comment section right down below. And if you fancy yourself a pair of new fast wheels, if you want a new speed boot, look no further than your favorite neighborhood boot pushers. Go to unisportstore.com by clicking the link right over there. Of course, also don't forget to watch some more cool top 5s by clicking down here. And make sure to join the Unisport Live family by clicking the subscribe button with the bell notification buttons on to see all our latest videos the moment they drop. And with that said, guys, I'm signing off. See you next time. Cheerio.